Have you ever wondered what would happen if you only did what was most important in your life? This idea originated from the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, invites us to ponder upon what truly matters in our lives. Let's delve into the essence of this philosophy and the power of prioritization. The concept of prioritization is simple, yet profound. It's about identifying the things of real significance and devoting your time and energy to them. It's about choosing quality over quantity, substance over surface. It's about recognizing that not everything that demands your attention deserves it. Often, we find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of tasks, responsibilities, and commitments. We run from one thing to another, trying to juggle everything, believing that being busy is a badge of honor. But Marcus Aurelius challenges this notion. He beckons us to focus on the essential, to discern the vital few from the trivial many. You see, being busy does not necessarily equate to being successful. It's a common misconception that's been ingrained in our society. We associate busyness with importance, productivity, and success. But the truth is, busyness can often lead to burnout, stress, and dissatisfaction. It can distract us from the things that truly matter. The real measure of success isn't how much we do, but how much value we create. It's not about ticking off every item on our to-do list, but about accomplishing the tasks that make a real difference. It's about doing less but better. Imagine a life where you're not constantly overwhelmed, where you're not perpetually chasing after time. Imagine a life where you're able to give your best to the things that matter most to you. That's the power of prioritization. That's the wisdom in Marcus Aurelius' philosophy. So, let's challenge ourselves. Let's redefine what success means to us. Let's stop glorifying busyness and start valuing mindfulness. Let's learn to discern the essential from the non-essential, the significant from the trivial. Success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Let's carry this thought with use as we navigate through the complexities of life. Because in the end, it's not about being busy, it's about being effective. It's about living a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. We often fall into the trap of equating busyness with importance, but is it really? Let's unravel this notion. It's not uncommon to find ourselves tangled in countless commitments, thinking that being busy equates to being successful. But is this a healthy mindset, or is it a trap that leads to unnecessary stress and burnout? Let me share a personal anecdote. I remember a time when I was juggling multiple projects at once, believing that my value was tied to how much I could accomplish. The more I did, the more successful I felt. However, this overcommitment started taking a toll. I was constantly stressed, my sleep was disrupted, and I barely had time for the people and things I truly cared about. It was a wake-up call. I realized that I was not achieving success, but instead, I was spiraling towards burnout. This is a common misconception that many of us harbor, that doing more means being more successful, that being constantly busy is a sign of importance. But what we fail to realize is that overcommitment doesn't lead to success. It leads to exhaustion, stress, and a life out of balance. We often feel the need to do everything ourselves, thinking that delegating or saying no is a sign of weakness. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Saying no is a sign of strength and wisdom. It shows that we understand the value of our time and energy, and that we are focusing on what truly matters. Remember, we don't have to do it all to have a fulfilling and successful life. What's more important is to focus on quality over quantity, to prioritize what's truly meaningful over what's merely urgent. In the end, overcommitment is a trap that we set for ourselves. It's a cycle of stress and burnout that we can break free from by focusing on what's truly important, by learning to say no to the non-essentials, and by understanding that our worth is not determined by how busy we are. Overcommitment doesn't lead to success. It leads to burnout. So let's strive to escape this trap and focus on living a balanced and fulfilling life. So, how do we figure out what's truly important in our lives? Well, it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. In our quest to be successful, we often fall into the trap of believing we have to do it all. But the truth is, success doesn't come from being busy. It comes from being focused. Identifying what matters most to us involves taking a good, hard look at our lives and our values. It's about understanding what truly makes us happy, what makes us feel fulfilled, and what aligns with our long-term goals. It's about recognizing that our time and energy are limited resources and choosing to invest them in the things that truly matter. One of the most powerful tools we have in this process is the ability to say no. Saying no isn't about being selfish or unhelpful. It's about understanding that when we say yes to one thing, we're inevitably saying no to something else. Every time we agree to take on a new commitment, we're taking time and energy away from something else in our lives. So it's crucial to ensure that what we're saying yes to aligns with our priorities. There's a common misconception that we can't be successful unless we do everything. But the reality is, the most successful people aren't those who do the most. They're the ones who do the most important things. They understand that being busy isn't the same as being productive, and they're not afraid to say no to things that don't align with their goals. So don't be afraid to declutter your life. Don't be afraid to say no to things that aren't serving you. Don't be afraid to prioritize your happiness, your health, and your personal growth. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much we do. It's about how much we achieve. Identifying what's important allows us to live more meaningful and fulfilling lives. So let's focus on doing the right things, not just doing things right. In today's fast-paced world, hustle culture has become a norm. But is it healthy? In the era of the 24-hour news cycle, social media feeds, and constant notifications, hustle culture has emerged as a powerful force. It's the idea that the more you work, the more successful you'll be. It's the belief that busyness equals importance, and that sleep is for the weak. But take a pause, and let's question this norm. Is it really healthy? Is it sustainable? And more importantly, does it lead to true fulfillment and success? The reality is that many people who have adopted this hustle mentality find themselves overworked, stressed, and unfulfilled. They're constantly racing against the clock, trying to squeeze more into their days, only to find that their to-do list never seems to end. But there's another way. There are those who have chosen a different path, and they're redefining what success looks like. They're the ones who have learned to prioritize, to say no, to focus on what really matters. They're not less successful. In fact, many of them are more successful than they ever were before. They've found a sense of balance and purpose that the hustle culture couldn't give them. Take, for instance, the story of a renowned entrepreneur who, after years of burning the midnight oil, realized he was missing out on the most important aspects of life: family, health, and personal growth. He decided to step back, reassess his priorities, and make a change. Today, he runs a successful business, while also ensuring he spends quality time with his loved ones and takes care of his health. He's a living testament that success isn't about constant hustle. It's about balance and focus. This is not to say that hard work isn't important. It absolutely is. But it's also crucial to remember the importance of self-care, of work-life balance, and of living a life that's not just full, but fulfilling. So, let's challenge the hustle culture. Let's redefine success. Let's focus on what truly matters and lead lives that are not just busy, but meaningful and balanced. Because in the end, success isn't about constant hustle. It's about balance and focus. Imagine a life where you only do what truly matters to you. What would that look like? Sounds enticing, doesn't it? A life not cluttered with the unnecessary, but filled with the essential. A life where you're not pulled in a million different directions, but focused on what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. This is the beauty of embracing a simplified life. The benefits of this lifestyle are manifold. It's not just about decluttering your physical space, although that's a part of it. It's more about decluttering your mind, your commitments, your time. It's about saying no to the good so you can say yes to the great. It's about making room for what truly matters. I remember a time in my life when I was overwhelmed, overcommitted, and underjoyed. I was doing a lot, but none of it was bringing me happiness or fulfillment. I thought the more I did, the more successful I would be. But I was wrong. It was only when I started to strip away the unnecessary and focus on the essential that I started to feel a sense of purpose and satisfaction. I started small by saying no to a commitment that was eating up my time, but not adding value to my life. Then I decluttered my physical space, getting rid of things that didn't serve me. Slowly but surely, I started to see a change. I felt lighter, more focused, more content. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And you can do the same. Start by identifying what truly matters to you. What brings you joy? What gives you a sense of purpose? Once you've identified these things, start making room for them in your life. Say no to the things that don't serve you and yes to the things that do. It's not about doing less, it's about doing more of what matters. By focusing on the essentials, we can live a life that is not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling. So, why not start today? Embrace a simplified life and see the difference it can make.